We are at round 3. This is the Wargame Cup 2012, and my name is Troublemaker. This tournament has been sponsored by game developers Eugen Systems. We're making air-land battles version of the game very soon, and by Intel, who make the stuff that's in my computer. We have a NATO versus NATO match from the acronym FLX, and the other red NATO player's name is Maiser. I will say that these early games that I'm casting will not be as good in quality as what will be coming up later. This largely has to do with timing. Most of the good players are trying to get the games out as early as possible whenever they can, but they're not posting their matches. And then your, moderate level players are playing some, but then your fairly good unknowns are playing later in the week. So I'm not saying don't watch the games for, until the weekend. But all these games have to get recorded one day in advance for editing purposes, and I don't want to put them up at like midnight, unless it's like a Tiga match or a Bent Guru match. But I suspect that with Saturday, Sunday coming up, those are huge play days for people, just because most people have those days off, and the quality of the matches will significantly increase then. So let's talk about FOB positioning. This is a good position. Why? It does not block the road. Roads, of course, are used for the move fast command, and roads actually make your units move faster. All the way forward. The only downside is that it is easy to steal, and sometimes people will put them in the woods here. It has to do with a lot of confidence. Like, if you're not going to defend your FOB, this is not a very good location. Should be at least one unit defending it, and this location is not very good. And the reason why this location is not very good is that it's the furthest possible point for your supply trucks to go, and like that extra length means that it's going to take an extra minute for your units to get supply. So a very bad location. It is in the woods, which means that it's stuffed away, and it's actually in an unusual position. But unfortunately, as you can see here, there's just a little bit of an edge on the road, which means that this is actually blocking his own reinforcement. Well, it's not his reinforcement, but blocking one stretch of road. Might work out for him, but probably not. And it's this little stretch of road here, which probably won't get used, but hey, this is a match between amateurs, so we have to be nice. Otherwise, they won't play the game anymore. And we see that Maiser's actually preparing to hold on to Alpha, and he actually has another 2 commands for some forward pushing. And from FLX, we can see that he has one command. Let's see if we can find a second command. There's just the one. That would be scary. No, but here's the second command. So he has 2 commands available. It looks like he'll be doing some forward pushing too, and you can kind of tell by how that all of his units are pushed forward. Individually selecting each group of units to do different things. Very good. And here we go. This is a kind of a problem when you have one recon helicopter and lots of helicopters. You do need to spread up your helicopters, because you lose them all to support artillery. They will die from areas of effect damage, and Fusiliers get destroyed by Delta Force immediately. Remember, this is a mirror match, so they will have a lot of the same units, so don't get confused. Saracens getting shelled out, Fusiliers being stuck in the open. These Cobras definitely paying themselves off, and this is actually a very good use of Cobras for all of our newbie players. Just being used to pick off any units they can. And looks like we have some Saracens try and come in here and wipe out these Fusiliers, which of course being shelled down by the Cobras. And position-wise, we have Foxtrot and Gulf for FLX, and hold the phone. Looks like the Saracens are actually running into Saracens and Fusiliers, and they might actually lose this battle. Looks like they will actually. Ooh, a little bit of a misstep here from FLX, and Cobra's pounding on the rear flank for Maiser, but hold the phone. We do have some Fusiliers coming in to interrupt these Cobras, and this could transform into a huge win. The Cobras do go down. FLX takes a very sizable lead here. But, yeah, and for Maiser, we see he's taken Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. Now, keep in mind, Alpha is relatively worthless as a point, just because it's only worth 1. but it will offer a slight economic advantage. Not one that he will be able to take advantage of very quickly. Keep in mind, we have FLX deploying a lot of infantry along the map, looking like he's wanting to secure a lot of locations and get some, what I like to call, accidental kills. It's like my favorite term in this game. An accidental kill is when you just deploy a unit in a defensive position and it kills stuff. And infantry are very good at this because infantry do not have a very strong range, and if people just move units across an infantry, they will lose that unit. Speaking of which, here comes some units across an infantry, and this is the Delta Force completely shelling out at this location. These houses actually support extra cover as well, and these wheat sails could actually go down. These are all anti-infantry vehicles, and infantry are taking them out just to kind of show you the power of urban cover. And maybe oh, there goes a weasel. And we have some infantry rolling in up close. Of course, if you get too close to the infantry, this means you can deploy the grenades. You can actually see the shells flying from the gun. That is a crazy cool animation. Eugen systems, you sly dogs, you. He's pulling back his recon, doesn't want to lose that. That's an expensive unit, but he does lose all of his anti-infantry vehicles. And actually, these Delta Force are surviving. He's rallying a Hemet supply truck to this location just so he can resupply his Delta Force, because these Delta Force are actually psycho killers right now. Anti-tank guns winding up. Looks like they're going to take out this infantry. This Hemet is not exactly positioned in a good place right now, and looks like the reinforcement path is under contention. Kind of a problem for Maiser, who is just getting relatively outplayed early on with 4 times the score, and he's actually going to move this. This is actually just arrogance. He's moving this infantry vehicle completely across the map, completely within vision of Maiser, so he knows this is coming, and he's actually going to play some Cobras to try and deal with this. We also see some anti-tank Milans. And yeah, this will not go anywhere, I guarantee you it. It's just going to die. It's going to drop its cargo. Here we go. And he's going to try and do something with these Legion. Legion. But unfortunately, they're not going to do anything. This Cobra, just too good. Going to stun it into bad positions. And, you know, not a good start by Maiser. But FLX getting a little bit arrogant. Just moving right in the open with his infantry. And here comes another Cobra. These Cobras are nice little skirmisher units. They're very good at picking off random units that they can. It looks like it's targeting down this shrapnel as the shrapnel tries to get into position to hit the aircraft, and this is annoying because it's possible that the Cobra might take out the unit designed to take out the Cobra. And nope, the shrapnel is in fact charging, but it dies. It kills the unit. FLX taking even more of a lead, and he's just slowly pushing forward with his units. Everyone in the entire world wants to take these Delta locations, but of course there are some Fusiliers and Saracens guarding this one. He is moving forward very slowly, wanting to get command kills, and a lot of times you see aggressive play like this. These are people who just want to end it, and there's actually some artillery fire. Are you kidding me? He's actually, yes, he has 2 OPs pounding on this reinforcement line, realizing that his enemy is deploying all of his units along this reinforcement path, and unfortunately misses all these Saracens, which looks like they're winding up for some kind of push. They've all been split up into individual groups, and they might just try and drop and take out this Delta Force. Speaking of Legion that are not dead yet, holy crap, how are these 19 men still alive? Slowly pushing their way through Bravo, and they could actually become quite the issue. Legion, of course, do have the grenades and rockets, and oh, here we go, Zippo going to try and melt these Legion. If they can get to the woods, it might be good in time. It would require the fire position command, but no, it does not get in. It is stunned in place. Something that these Zippos are very good at is stunning units and just melting armies. These poor souls, they're not even burning. Get up, you babies. Well, that's weird. The Zippos stopped firing. Quite the little issue. And here we go. The push I'm talking about, just trying to wipe out the Delta Force. First set units are getting stunned in position. There are tons of anti-infantry vehicles here, of course. And these Legion here will finally get cleaned up. The Saracens moving in broad numbers. And maybe this first one might get done. Well, the Fusiliers are deployed. They are actually saved. And he's going into the woods with these. Anti-infantry versus infantry. Who will win this battle? with these large numbers, it's possible that Maiser might be able to take this, but it's not looking good. Legion are going down in record numbers. These anti-infantry vehicles are being pulled back, and actually Maiser might be able to retake this position. In fact, it looks like he will. Oh, we have rocket fire on this location. Kind of scary. Looks like it's some artillery fire pounding back, and suddenly it just switches all the way around again. FLX has the game. Ah, yeah. Suddenly that big squad of Fusiliers is not looking so big, and this small group of Legion are looking very, very big. He did move his Zippo forward, and he's trying to use this to try and take out these Legion. He desperately needs to get out this power group of units, otherwise he's going to be pegged and plexed. And keep in mind, there's also the Delta Force here, which are causing him a lot of problems. Speaking of investing in artillery, when you can't reinforce yourself, here we are in that exact position, and he's actually going to use this artillery at a close range, and it'll actually be very effective. Might not pay for itself, hard to say. Delta Force are like how much each? There were 37 points, that's it? Really? Well, that's not going to pay itself off. The EMX OFI, of course, is 100 points, so that's probably going to cover about 70. Speaking of AMX 10P moving up to try and gun down more units and getting wiped out by anti-tank teams, that just happened. And now it is rooted, running back, retreating. There is actually a supply here reinforcing these Delta Force, which is crazy, of course. It's absolutely crazy. And this air scene looks like it might get taken out. Fusiliers are deployed though. Might get some numbers down. Maybe not. It's 20 versus 10 and down to 2. Far more exciting game than you think it would be. The AMX OP trying to wind up again, wanting desperately to shell out this location. You can actually get a him. We have some Weasels, some MK2 Weasel 1 style. And this is the part where I start playing Gangnam Style. Good, look at that body. I work out. Yeah, that's a totally different song. But it is written by a Canadian. Canadian, eh? That would name stinking Koreans. With their chubby faces and hot girls and weird dance styles, and all the while, like, good multitasking by FLX. He's actually deployed Fusiliers here at Delta and wiped out pretty much all presence on the map for Maiser. He's only really has this northern flank left, and it is actually getting shelled out by artillery. So realistically, there's not much left for young Maiser. We have some Cobras being deployed. Not a lot of anti-aircraft. In fact, there's so few anti-aircraft units that the one that they have is out of ammunition, and it's not getting resupplied. So these Cobras are doing quite more damage than they ought to. That's for sure. And whoa, more Fusiliers pushing forward, taking even more positions. Looks like he's gone for Charlie. And some Saracens coming to support this squad as well. 3 TBC books deploying. This might be maybe the straw. No, it's not the straw that breaks the camel's back. Here comes the Saracens cleaning that up, and here comes more Fuchs. He's actually just throwing units at the problem now. And if you know anything about throwing units at problems, it generally doesn't work out. And here comes another 3 group of Jaegers. He desperately wants to kill off this group of Delta Force. But unfortunately, the investment's been very large now. Oh, versus the Rise Patton. One of the Rise Pattons dies on retreat. And this is one of these weird things where if you know the game, you know that occupying a reinforcement path causes a lot of problems for the enemy. And this is exactly the problem I'm talking about. He cannot move units beyond this point because his Delta Force has been, for the entire game, just bogging him down. But this has also given FLX a lot of opportunity to carefully use a lot of these artillery fires. Jaeger wiped out a unit. And looks like finally Maiser might be able to push back this position. Possibly a little bit too late. And looks like FLX has finally given up on his push. But keep in mind, he's done quite a bit of damage. He's actually created a very large flank of units. If you look on the map, you'll see that it's a very blue map. And hold the phone, we have a Black Hawk spinning around the map. And what do we have to defend against this? Hopefully he has a flamethrower still here. And he has 3 Fusiliers and 3 anti-infantry squads. Should be enough to deal with the squad. Oh, here's the Zippo. The Zippo can stun, of course, but the command armor is very vulnerable, very exposed in this location. And you can kind of see that this long path, let's look how long it takes this HEMTT to move by. It takes a long time to make that path. By the way, of course, you missed it. The Fusiliers are getting wiped out. We have counter artillery fire from FLX shelling at this front location and getting quite a few hits. Actually, more hits than he ought to. It looks like Maiser is having problems spreading out his units to avoid all this artillery. Hell's Highway, of course, is notorious for heavy amounts of artillery. So if you haven't played your match yet, I would definitely play against this sort of style. And check out the first game of the day. Both players use a style that's purely artillery. Check out that game and you will see what a lot of players will be doing. And it's a very common strategy. Some will call it a noob strategy, but it's, look who's in the tournament. Most people are newer to the game. There's going to be a lot of people playing that kind of strategy. The people who are experienced in the game will know how to beat it relatively easy, but newer players will have problems. And speaking of big giant Saracen rushes coming from the rear view flank, that's happening as well. It looks like most of these units are going to get caught. A lot of blowpipes actually leading the charge. And a lot of blowpipes, of course, are your cheap 10-point units. He deploys on top of his anti-tank team with his infantry, and he has a tank destroyer himself, but unfortunately there's nothing really for it to shoot here. Anti-tank Merlans are actually running out of ammunition trying to destroy this thing, and he's pulling back his command just in time as this tank destroyer team continues to rush forward, clearing out quite a few units. FLX is, and these are not all-in pushes where like he has to take the command or he loses all his units. These are actually kind of pushes where he's going to do a lot of damage regardless, and it'd be really nice if he got that command. So the tank team running out of fuel, trying to wipe out anything they can before they get caught in an awkward position. Looks like this tank team will get destroyed by probably this Cobra. And speaking of Fusiliers getting wiped out, looks like the whoa, where did the flamethrower tank go? Looks like the flamethrower tank got wiped out, but it did do quite a bit of damage to these Fusiliers in the meantime. And yeah, nice little pushes by FLX. Still, this reinforcement path is not secure. There are some Fusiliers in the way, and most units they place on the maps can get picked off. Let's see if he's in range of the TPC, folks. He does need to take position in this shelled out town. Dear God, Eugen, you guys are so good at making graphics. Did I ever say that? It sounds Fusiliers versus Jaegers, and it looks like the Jaegers do in fact take it, and he steals some supply vehicles, which he desperately needs right now. He's actually shelling at the location of the AMX OP. Might get some of these supply trucks, probably not though. But the OP is moving too safely. And the Fusiliers actually taking a random location in the woods, maybe pushed back here by rooting. But these kind of locations are good too, because they can force units to die from random rockets by just passing it. A rise pattern. This has actually been a very well placed rise pattern. I'm going to steal this position because it's actually been killing a lot of units, and it continues to do so. It's killing off these Jaegers. We have an infantry squad looking ready to deploy. Probably not here. Nope, it's pushing forward into the midst. Going to deploy on one of these little shelf flanks. No, it's actually pushing even further forward into the Zippo actually. And the Legion is on its own. A Rep Mas killed off the Zippo. And here we go. AMX is hit a Jaeger and pull back immediately, and just trying to get different angles. There's an anti-tank team, and whoa, Maiser actually surrenders, realizing that he's now almost 3,000 points behind, and that victory conditions specifically stated a victory from destruction. He resigns, and this is actually kind of an upset, because here we go, FLX at 1,500 rated score. We have Maiser at 1,750. So this could be like our third or fourth major upset of the tournament. A person who might have been in round 6 or round 7 eliminated in round 3. Anything can happen in the Wargame Cup. Don't count out any of these amateurs. They can snipe people left and right. Let's hope that they snipe someone's crazy in round 4. Good on you, FLX. Emerges to round 4, which will be coming up in like a week or so. So stay tuned. Christmas is coming.